Hi, I'm Jimmy. I'm the host of the show. Thanks for watching. It is January 12th. We have 8 days left of our human missile crisis, and yet our long national nightmare appears to be far from over. Our whack job president gave another crazy speech today, completely ignoring the elephant in the room, spewing nonsense about Mexicans and caravans and every subject other than what he should be talking about, which is that it's time for grandpa to peacefully hand over the keys to the car. The FBI is warning of serious threats to our country. The House voted tonight to ask Mike Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment to remove the president. And of course, Mike Pence isn't going to do that. He's not going to remove Donald Trump. Mike Pence doesn't even remove his shirt. That means tomorrow the House will vote to impeach again, which is not at all cool with Donald Trump, who came out of hiding today to explain why.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. This impeachment is causing tremendous anger, and you're doing it, and it's really a terrible thing that they're doing. For Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer to continue on this path, I think it's causing tremendous danger to our country, and it's causing tremendous anger.
Oh, that's what's causing all the danger and anger. All along, I thought it was you causing it. Turns out it was them. The more we learn about what went down at the White House on Wednesday, the more sinister it sounds. According to the Washington Post, the reason Trump took so long to answer the many calls for help he was getting from his friends in Congress who were forced to hide in their offices is he was too busy watching TV. For real, he wouldn't take any phone calls because he didn't want to miss any of the riot. The same way our 3-year-old reacts when his grandparents try to FaceTime during Paw Patrol. That's why he calls himself the law and order president. He spends all day watching episodes of it. And even though his supporters were screaming, "Hang Mike Pence," to the point where Mike Pence had to be taken to a safe location, he didn't even call the vice president to check on him. Although in Trump's defense, it's hard to make a phone call when you're fondling yourself. This is interesting too. You know how Trump tweeted during the siege that everyone should stay peaceful? Well, he reportedly didn't want to add the stay peaceful part. And that video where he committed to a peaceful transfer of power, according to one senior official, he said he wished he hadn't done it because he feared that the calming words he used made him look weak. He's worried that his words make him look weak, but not that his suits that make him look like he's made out of coconuts and waffle batter make him look weak. He's worried about the words. But Mr. Tough Guy did finally weigh in today on the violent and murderous actions of his extremist supporters.
They're dividing and divisive, and they're showing something that I've been predicting for a long time.
Okay, well, that's a good start. Please go on.
I've been predicting it for a long time, and people didn't act on it. But I think big tech has made a terrible mistake and very, very bad for our country.
Oh, big tech is the one that made the mistake and is very, very bad for our country. Not you and the murderers in Call of Duty costumes. This is, even in the middle of a nightmare, you can find funny moments. And you know the guy who was dressed as a Viking, codenamed QAnon shaman, real name Jacob Chansley? The shaman is in custody now, and his mommy is none too happy with the accommodations.
Chansley's mother attended Monday's hearing and expressed her concern.
He gets very sick if he doesn't eat organic food, literally will get physically sick. So he needs to eat.
And they won't even let her in there to breastfeed. We specifically asked for a cage-free prison. My little trader needs his Trader Joe's. Has to be Antifa, right? That can't be them. It's very rich that Trump is pushing back on the social media companies who shut down the accounts for him and these domestic terrorists, because back in 2017, he wrote on Twitter, "Loser terrorists must be dealt with in a much tougher manner. The internet is their main recruitment tool, which we must cut off and use better." Well, done and done. Trump was as president-demented as ever today. He continues to insist he's done nothing wrong. Not only did he refuse to disavow his inflammatory and seditious remarks, he seems to think they were just fine.
People thought that what I said was totally appropriate. And if you look at what other people have said, politicians at a high level, about the riots during the summer, the horrible riots in Portland and Seattle and various other places, that was a real problem, what they said.
Right, what they said, that was a real problem. This was just white people having fun.
But they've analyzed my speech and my words and my final paragraph, my final sentence, and everybody to the T thought it was totally appropriate. Okay, thank you.
Everybody to the T thought it was totally appropriate. That's why the New York Times reported today that soon-to-be former Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell told associates he's glad Democrats are impeaching Trump, and why Liz Cheney, daughter of Vader himself, says there has never been a greater betrayal by a president of the United States of his office and his oath to the Constitution. But everybody to the T. Big T flew to Alamo, Texas today to brag about his wall and to remind the American people that he's not just a dangerous megalomaniac, he's also a racist. Should Trump even be allowed near the border? Isn't he a flight risk at this point? The scattered crowd in Alamo was treated to Davy Crock of you-know-what from our nearly departed leader.
We see what's coming, and they're coming because they think that it's gravy train at the end. It's going to be a gravy train. Change the name from the caravans, which I think we came up with, to the gravy train, because that's what they're looking for the gravy.
And now, if you'll excuse me, I'm hungry for lunch. It was a bananas speech, totally off the rails. He basically claimed his wall kept Mexican COVID out of the United States, which is news to us here in California. And then after his speech, he turned and left. After ranting about murder and aliens and Mexicans and gravy, what kind of an exit did he make? A musical one. Oh, he didn't even dance. The people came to see him dance. Come on, Donnie, give us one little jiggle for old time's sake. It was very wise of Trump to take a victory lap at the border the same week his supporters showed the world that walls serve almost no purpose whatsoever when it comes to keeping people who want in out. The fact is, Donald Trump only built 12 miles of new wall. That's like from here to Santa Monica. And allow me to use the only props I have at my disposal to illustrate, which are my daughter's Legos, okay? This is what Donald Trump promised, and this is what Donald Trump delivered. And it cost us $15 billion. So well done. Trump has taken one last tour of all his greatest failures this week. Tomorrow, he's spending the day with Eric. Tensions, meanwhile, are very high in D.C. 3 Democrats in the House have tested positive for COVID after being holed up during the Capitol lockdown with Republican colleagues who refused to wear masks even when they were offered to them. Among them is QAnon super spreader Marjorie Taylor Greene. So many imbeciles, just so many imbeciles. Soon to be a Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer today had his press conference interrupted by this very fetching young lady.
Hitler was a socialist, and that's exactly who you follow. You're nothing but a coward. Seeing you hide underneath your desk, I actually got sexually excited over it. That's how much I loathe you. That's how much I'm glad what they did. And like Nancy Pelosi said,
Maybe banning Parler was a mistake. Now they're out on the street. She got sexually excited seeing Chuck Schumer under his desk. Wouldn't it be something if they fell in love? What a story that would be. Like George and Kellyanne all over again. There are a lot of crazies out there. Even though Trump released that concession video promising a smooth transition and telling the rioters to go home, many of his supporters aren't buying it. Some are very angry with him for giving up, but a lot of them don't even believe he made the video. Many in the Q and Parler crowd said the video was a deep fake, like his tan. As if, well, first of all, as if the technology is that advanced. But secondly, if someone did make a fake video of Trump and released it on his Twitter account, wouldn't Trump object to that? You think he'd keep quiet about it? I don't know. Let's give it a try.
Hi, I'm Donald Trump. I've got a big smelly butt. Will somebody please help me wash my butt?
This QAnon nonsense, it reminds me in a lot of ways of seasons 2 and 3 of Lost, when everybody was coming up with crazy theories. You remember that? It was fun. Everybody had thoughts about what was really going on, that they were all on a reality show and didn't know it. It was purgatory. The smoke monster was a swarm of tiny robots. People were uncovering hidden messages that weren't even there. Sometimes the guys who ran the show, Damon Lindelof and Carlton Cuse, were like, yeah, that's interesting, but no, that wasn't a satanic pentagram. That was a Carl's Jr. rapper somebody forgot to clean up on set. That's what this QAnon is like. It's like a build your own apocalypse. Someone puts something out there, someone else adds something to it. You throw in a few fake documents, circulate them around. All of a sudden, you have a pizza place where Hillary Clinton is at the soda machine drinking children's blood. I mean, imagine looking at this. Drop 2903, right arrow, 2 plus 9 equals 1103, as in 11/3, parentheses, 0/election day, end parentheses, 1103 plus 21 days equals 1124, and thinking, well, that seems suspicious. And then, even though there are big happenings about to happen, nothing happens, but you keep right at it. Like those prophets who pick a date for the end of the world, and then the world doesn't end, so they pick another date. I guess going with the flow is easier to swallow than admitting the guy from Celebrity Apprentice wasn't so good at being president. But what does somebody do when they want out of this? Is there a QAnon anonymous? You know, taking random numbers and extrapolating made-up stuff from them isn't difficult. Like, everybody in QAnon assumes that the magic number is 17 because Q is the 17th letter in the alphabet, and because Q first surfaced in the year 2017. So whenever Donald Trump says 17, it's a coded message. But what they're not taking into consideration is the letter Q comes from the ancient Greek letter kappa, which is the Greek numeral for 90, not 17. And what's significant about 90? Well, 1990 is the year Donald Trump first publicly expressed an interest in running for president in a certain pornographic magazine. 1990 was also the same year this photo was taken. That's President-elect, but not really, Joe Biden Jr., with then U.S. Deputy Attorney General Bill Barr, who are seen here entering into a secret agreement to bring down future presidential hopeful Donald Trump and his friend Jeffrey Epstein, who became his Palm Beach neighbor in what year? 1990. And what was the address of the place Jeffrey Epstein bought? 358 El Brillo Way. 358, the secret call sign Air Force One used when Trump made a surprise visit to Iraq over Christmas in 2018. QAnon, the first missive from Q, was posted to an online message board called 4chan. Over time, Q migrated to another board called 8chan. 4chan and then 8chan led to Johnny Chan, the 10-time World Series of Poker champion. Now here's Johnny making a cameo in the movie Rounders. And where is he in this scene? At Donald Trump's now bankrupted Trump Taj Mahal casino. And who's he sitting across from in the scene? That's right, Satan's lamest agent, Matt Damon. Now we're getting into the real evil, Matt Damon. So you see what we're up against here. So to recap, QAnon is lost, just like the people who follow it.
Jimmy Kimmel Live. This is ridiculous.